So this is a training that everyone needs. It was decided that we should do this one today. It's something that we can work on in the weekend, and I'm definitely excited to do that. So I'm going to share my screen with you all. Just make sure I'm going to share my screen and let's go, right? So I've got so many trainings, right? Okay, cool. Let's do this. So fear versus greed. Fear versus greed. So we're going to do it from here. Okay, so I will cover fear, right? And Sarah's going to cover greed. So can everyone get your notebooks and pens ready? We're going to go straight into the training. We're not going to waste any more time. Okay, so fear versus greed. Before I get started, guys, who actually suffers from fear? Put 111 if you suffer from fear. Put it in the chat. Who suffers from fear, guys? Anyone? Yeah? If you had to ask me, what do I suffer from, fear or greed, it's always going to be fear, right? So I suffer from fear, guys. So if you suffer from fear, don't worry. That's normal, okay? Fear is something that can cripple you with your success, can cripple you with your goals, can cripple you with your trading, with your business, with everything, okay? So that's why we're doing this training. Now, guys, who's experienced fear when they're either growing their business or growing their trading account? So 2 specific reasons. Who's experienced fear doing that? Put 111 if you have, right? If you've suffered from fear from growing a trading account or growing your business account, right? This is what I'm going to cover today. I'm going to cover some points to get over it. I'm going to pinpoint exactly what points there are. And then I'm going to make sure that you guys walk away with a game plan in terms of fear. And then Sarah's going to go over greed, okay? So this is actually a fire training, and we're going to go straight through it. So first thing, because like I said, we'll go straight into it. We already know what fear is, guys. So first thing that we want to do, write it down, is we want to determine the source of the fear, okay? So in fear, we have to write on a piece of paper and brainstorm a list of the sources of fear that we have. So just an example could be your fear of safety, fear of losing money, fear of people hurting you. It's just so many different types of fears, right, where you can experience it. Guys, can you list any other fears that you may have experienced? Write it down in the chat box and then we'll go over it, because this is going to be an interactive training. Yeah, have you guys experienced any fears yet? I'm guessing you have, right? Write it down in the chat box, any kind of fears that are concerns that you've had. Anyone? Fear of not doing well. Anyone else? That's a really common one, by the way. Fear of not doing well. Anyone else? Fear of losing money. Anyone else? What about you, Natalia? Clive? What have you experienced fear in? Ads? Write it in the box. Let's go. Right? Fear of. I'm waiting. Z. Where are you all? Where are you all? Let's see who else we've got. We've got Danny. Hi, Danny. Louise, fear of opening a real account. Okay, that's actually, do you know what? I haven't heard that one in a while, but I have, when I first started mentoring trading, that used to be a thing actually. Okay, we'll go through that today. Fear of stop loss, hitting stop loss. Nah, man, you can't be fearing that. That's easy. That's good. Okay, cool. And then what about, okay, cool. So we've got a few examples, okay? So we've got fear of not doing well, fear of losing money, fear of opening a real account, fear of hitting stop loss, okay? So we already know the source of our fear, okay? So we can kind of center it. Now, what you want to do, right? What you want to do with these lists, guys, and I hope you're writing it all down, because these are all fears that we've all experienced. I've had a fear of not doing well. I've had a fear of losing money. I've had a fear of, okay, I haven't had a fear of opening a real account, but I have mentored a lot of people who have had that fear of opening a real account. And there are things that you can do to get over that. Fear of hitting stop loss, okay? So I've had that as well, especially with US 30. So what we want to do, right, is we want to list that out, right? We want to list it out. The next step, guys, when you're writing this down, so this is a training, and we want to be as productive as possible, guys. So don't just listen to me, do what we're actually supposed to be doing. And then by the end of the training, you've actually already done what you needed to do for today in terms of this training, right? So when you've written it down, can you please write actions to prevent this from happening? This is crucial, okay? So actions to prevent this from happening, right? So for instance, if I had a fear of not doing well, do you know what I'll do? I'll study, right? Because the more you're learning, the more skill set you're building, okay? So you have to understand that that goes hand in hand. Fear of losing money, right? Well, the opposite is not losing money, right? It's gaining money. But maybe guys, if you had a fear of losing money, there's an attachment to it, and you have to think about, what are you in it for? Okay, are you in it just to make that money that day, or are you actually in it to learn the skill set? Because if you're in it to learn the skill set and progress every day and become a better person, a better trader, a better business owner, right, you're going to not have that fear of losing money as much. Because even when you lose money, you're going to celebrate it. It's growth. Now, fear of opening a real account. When I used to have people that said that to me, and I have had people that didn't open up a real account for 3 months, 6 months. I mean, it goes on and on. You have to understand that's okay, right? No one's forcing you to open up a real account. But one thing you can do is keep placing those demo trades. The more you place the demo trades on your own analysis, the more confident you're going to be opening up a real account. Okay, so that one really is practice. And Chad, fear of hitting stop loss, maybe because your stop loss is like 8 pips. I would fear that too. Right? Like we have to learn where to put the proper stop loss. I think that's what you need help in Chad. It's just understanding zone to zone, right? Zone to zone, and actually understanding where shall I put my stop loss. Okay, 8 pips, I mean, I will be uneasy if I had a stop loss 8 pips in. I'll be watching it. It's like 40 pips. Okay, cool. If it's like 40 pips, Chad, that means your entry is wrong. Okay, entry. So what we want to do is try and perfect the entry, and we want to make sure that we keep practicing to do that. Okay, don't ever get scared of hitting stop loss. I celebrate when I hit a stop loss, because then I know what happened in the market, I know what zone. So one thing that, guys, I do is, if I keep seeing stop loss being hit in a certain zone, right, if I keep seeing stop loss being hit in a certain zone, I actually mark out that zone, and I just say I'm not going to trade it, right? I'm just not going to trade it. Okay, now you guys have mentioned trading fears. What are your business fears? Write down what's your business fears, okay? What are you afraid of when you're building your business? What are you afraid of when you're building your business? Write it down, guys. Let's see. Let's go through it one by one, right? Let's go through it one by one. What are you afraid of when you're building your business? And like I said, it's an interactive training. Interactive training. What will people think? Yeah, very common, right? What will people think? Anyone else? Anyone else have any other examples? What will they think when you're speaking to people? Are you guys fearing rejection when you're speaking to people, right? Does that give you any kind of fear? Because I can tell you now, yeah, people's views on network marketing, time wasters, 100%, right? The viewpoints of others, like what people think. Guys, you're always thinking about kind of like what other people are thinking. But one thing you've got to understand is, when you are personally developing yourself, you're raising your vibration, right? So if they don't agree with how you're thinking, they're just not on your vibration, right? If you're on a separate page completely, then maybe you shouldn't be speaking to them, right? And it's okay. They will catch up. I've spoken to people who flat out said that trading doesn't work, and they're in the business, legit, and they have been for months, right? So people, you can't assume that they see the vision straight away, and that fear can be prevented by actually the actions it's just speaking to nice people, right? Speaking to nice people, giving out a lot of value, because people will not appreciate the value you give them. Okay, so if you're pitching something, then maybe, just maybe, they might think, okay, cool, I'm not with it. But if you kind of give value, they're never going to really give you that negative mindset. But we're going to go through it anyway. So the main point of this activity, right, is that you need to determine how you can like create, how you can fix the source of the issue. Okay, now things that can't happen, guys, in trading, which I want you to write down, is in the fear of the markets, you fear pulling out of a trade, you fear going into a trade, right? These are the things that you can fear. Like you have all the confirmations under the sun, but you just don't go into it because you fear it. Some people even have fear from analyzing a trade, right? They get anxious. Okay, this is a source of fear. So we have to understand, guys, that that's fine, but now we need to think of actions that can override it. Okay, now in business, the most common fear that I come across is rejection, right? Rejection. Now I want to tell you guys, do you fear rejection in normal everyday life? Yes or no? Do you guys fear normal everyday life and rejection? Like if someone rejects you, right? Do you fear it? Like some people will say yes, some people will say no, but in an actual fact, if someone rejects you, like you're not going to overthink it, in my opinion, in normal everyday life. But when you think about rejection in business, that can actually cripple you, right? That can actually cripple you because then you don't grow your business. So we have to kind of conquer like that rejection feeling. And once you do that, then it's all steams ahead, right? It's all steams ahead. Now, another thing that I want you guys to understand in this training is you got to recognize that life happens, right? Write that down. Life happens. You can't keep playing the blame game, right? And it's really funny that I'm doing this training. I definitely need this training. But guys, when something's happened to you before, right? When something's happened to you before, you have to end that blame game again, right? Because what you're going to do is you're going to transfer the kind of that energy that happened before into a new experience. And then you're not going to be a master of your own destiny, okay? You're going to have that anxiety that happened to you before into what you're trying to achieve now. So when it says recognize that life happens to you, what this means is you have a choice. Put in the comment box, I have a choice. Write in the comment box, I have a choice, right? Write down, I have a choice. Because guys, like I want you all to do that. I'm not going to move on until you all start doing stuff, right? Until you all start working. So write in the comment box, I have a choice. Yeah? I want to see all of your names on this, okay? All of your names on this. Because guys, it's so powerful to say it, right? It's so powerful to say it, that I have a choice, right? When people feel that fear, they feel like they don't have a choice, right? They feel like they're enforced in that situation. But I'm trying to tell you that you do have a choice to handle that emotion, okay? The tips that I want to give you in this one is in trading with fear, you have a compound plan. Write down compound plan, right? We have a compound plan that reduces fear because the expectation is lower. And when you hear, it's so nice. In business, right? In business, if you want to conquer that fear in business, you have to attend as many trainings as you possibly can, right? It's the trainings that make the difference. I honestly still go on trainings all the time, right? Not just because I learn from it, but it actually conquers that fear and anxiety that I have in terms of trading. If I feel, you know, when you hit stop loss, you kind of feel a certain way, right? When you lose a trade, hi Frank, when you lose a trade, right? Frank the Tank is here, woohoo. When you lose a trade, guys, you're gonna feel that fear, right? But you have to understand that you control that. So you have a choice. So if you feel that fear, then go and learn. Okay, go and learn something new, right? I'm not saying a new strategy, but learn something new so you can take your mind off that fear, right? So the sooner you kind of go through that, the better it is, okay? If you keep playing the blaming game of where things are going wrong, like I know for a fact people are like, oh, my trade didn't go right because of this, because of this, because of this, and there's like a billion reasons, right? But really, if you just stuck to a compound plan and you were only going for 1%, you wouldn't be in that situation of that loss, right? You probably wouldn't. You probably would have gained your 15 pips or whatever it is, and you would have been out of the market and you wouldn't have gone from side to side, side to side, side to side. If you were in business and you kept blaming things like, oh no, people are saying it's network marketing and they don't like it. Guys, network marketing is one of the biggest industries in the entire world, right? So you can't use that excuse, because people do it, right? They're everywhere, if not more now than ever before, right? So if it's not working for you, maybe it's not that it's not working for you. Maybe you just need more skill set in that. Okay. And having a business, you are honestly always learning, no matter how long you've been in it, right? My dad's first restaurant was when he was 20 years old, right? He's like 55 now, actually 58, but he's like 58 now, and his first restaurant was 20 years old, and he's still learning about his restaurant now, right? He's still learning about the restaurant now. So you got to imagine, once you have that business, you don't just suddenly become an expert, right? You go through things every single day. New issues come up every single day. That's the kind of price you pay if you want to be successful, right? If you want to be successful. So you have to understand that in this kind of industry, whether it's trading or business, you got to leave the blame game behind, okay? And you have to understand you have a choice. Next thing that I see in fear, right? Fear is led by excuses. So write that down. Fear is led by excuses, right? You have excuses. Excuses are a defense mechanism we use to avoid facing our problems. So it's so easy to say, oh yeah, I don't like this because, you know, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and this happened, right? It's because your brain is telling you, right? Your brain is telling you that you have to avoid the problem. So you're going to give an excuse. So it's so much easier to push our hopes and desires and dreams away when we have excuses. Do you know we live in comfort of the fear? Like, people love that comfort of fear because it stops them from leaving the comfort zone. When you get to this point, guys, when you're at this point of fear, right, you have to understand your why, right? You have to say it 100 times, 1,000 times. You need to look at your goal card. You need to do whatever you can when you're in this excuse mentality. Because once you understand that you're writing excuses, you're going to learn that the fear itself is not worth it, right? Your goals, your desires are so much more worth it, right? Does this make sense to you guys so far? Yeah, does this make sense? That we want to try and figure out how we can go through this in life, how we can make sure that we stop excuses. Excuses are literally one of the most painful things to go through in business, right? In trading is bad, but at least in trading, you can kind of like, in a way, figure it out. Excuses in building your business is actually crippling your business, because there's no successful business owner I know that has excuses. Not one, right? They just don't have that excuse mentality. So the sooner you get out of that, you know, because let's be real, guys, I don't know how many of us are on, there's like 15 of us on this call. We all have loads of shit going on, right? We all have this issue, this issue, this issue, this issue, but we're still on this call. We're still gonna learn. We're still trying, right? When we can really just say, you know what, I'm not gonna do it. It's Friday night. I don't feel like it, right? And I've got this going on, but I still jumped on. That's what we can say to ourselves. So guys, just you showing up is already 50% there, right? It's just you showing up is 50% there. Now, when we show up, we need to know why we show up, right? We need to know why we're not where we should be, and that will be better. Now, what I want you also to do is put shoulds into must. So guys, this is another thing that we we all must stop saying, right? We all must stop saying should. Okay, write that down. Should. We're going to say must. Okay, so we're going to have that kind of no choice mentality, right? We're not going to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, a plan E, whatever. We're going to be in that mentality that we must make this work. Whatever obstacles come our way, we must make this work. When we say we should, our mind isn't programmed as much as when we say, must. So achieving your goal is an absolute must, and nothing else matters. There's no issues, there's no distractions, there's no excuses, right? Most successful people live in fear too. I want you to really write that down, because sometimes people assume that when you're successful, you have no fear, right? Where when they're like at a level where you're just thinking, wow, they're at an amazing level, that you think they have no fear. But guys, they do have a lot of fear. They are human. They do live in the same fear that you guys live with. We all live with, right? But they don't let it stop them, right? Some people let their fear stop them. And you can tell because they're either scared to do this, they're scared to do that. Like, you can tell they're living an unfulfilled life because that fear is crippling them. Now, another thing that I want you to know, that if you don't do this, what you live with is regret, okay? You live with regret, because when you really, really want it to work, but you're living in fear, you might not regret it now. You might regret it in a year, 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, 100 years, whatever a situation, guys, right? You can actually experience that regret. And we've all experienced regret, yeah? So that's another thing. So we're going to say must from now on. Now, another thing that I want you all to focus on is growth mindset. So write down growth mindset. Growth mindset, right? We want growth mindset. We want to understand that pain gives us a valuable insight. You know, in the middle of the night when me and Frank are talking about trades and he's like, well, this happened and then this happened and then this happened. And he's just so open. How many of you guys are reading that? Right? How many of you guys are so proud of him for opening up like that? Right? We're like, yeah, Frank, you go. You say what you want to say. Do you know what's so good about that? He's showing growth mindset. Because I think it's also because of like everything that's going on. But when you show that that pain you feel is giving you a valuable insight, right? That's growth mindset. Yeah. When you know you are doing wrong, right? When you know you're entering 100 trades when you really shouldn't. I'm surprised Ads hasn't said anything to you, Frank, to be honest, but I don't know, maybe he's staying quiet, but it's showing growth mindset. Yeah. Like, you will get over it, Frank. And the thing that you're looking at is like, you don't look at it as like, oh, well, like, I'm going to hide from it and I'm not going to enter a trade. You're literally looking at it as like, what am I learning? Every time, he should be seeing this, to be honest. Every time you are going through that, yeah, every time you know where you've gone wrong, you're going to learn from it, okay? No one's saying that you have to be an amazing trader right now, Frank. No one's saying you can't do these issues and these things that you're doing where you're like entering like 1,000 trades a time. Like, no one's saying anything, right? You're going to learn from it. But the thing is, use that pain that you feel, that L that you feel, as a valuable insight, okay? Like, guys, do you ever regret bad relationships? Yes or no? Put in the chat. Do you ever regret bad relationships? You can see Sarah's face like, yeah, hell yeah. Guys, do you regret bad relationships? Bad friendships? Do you regret them? Do you regret ever meeting your ex? Do you regret ever meeting them? Do you regret having children with the wrong people? Do you regret any of this? Not yet. Frank, good joke. Guys, right? We don't. Let's be real. We don't regret it. No matter how annoying and how much we hate them, we're gonna learn. We learn so much being with them, right? When we have a bad friend turn bad, yeah, we're gonna learn so much of how it is to be a good friend, okay? So failure, disappointment, dead ends, right? They all teach us this valuable question of, how can I learn from this? So write that down. How can I learn from this? Okay. We want to understand, how can I learn from this? So when you say you're taking that L, guys, you're never taking an L, okay? When something doesn't go your way, it actually can bring you closer to what you're looking for, okay? Like I realized this, I think I realized this about 2 years ago, that when something doesn't go your way, it's actually bringing you closer to what you're really after, okay? So we need to build, like, we need to have that and adapt. We are built to adapt, okay? We are built to adapt. Now, when you're in this place of mind, guys, where there's fear, yeah, where there's fear, like Chad, when you're fearing your stop loss, yeah, you got to picture the most successful trader to you. Please don't say ads, but the most successful trader, right? You got to think, what would he say to you, right? He or she, please be she, but what would they say to you right now? Are they going to say, yeah, panic? No, they're going to be like, get over it, shut the charts and do some work, right? Go and listen, go and learn, go and educate, go and read the news, do whatever you want to do, but you have to understand that you have to picture the most successful person in that situation and then be like, what would they do, right? What would they do? Okay, so guys, quickly write down the most successful person that you can think of in the chat for me. Who's the most successful person you can think of in the chat? Yeah, who is it? I think it's Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo. I'm like, what would Ronaldo do? Ah, thanks, Chad. See, oh yeah, I won today. I won today. No, I'm definitely not. The most successful person to you guys. Who is that? And write it down. Oh, oh, you guys are so cute. Ads. Yes, it's ads. Ads, definitely. Phoebe. Mine is also Phoebe, Louise, Sarah, all of you guys. Yeah, you're all successful. Ronaldo for sure. Okay, so guys, when you're in a situation, right, you got to look up to who you respect, who you really value in your life. Jason Stone, that's true. Yeah, what would Jason do? He would be like, let's fucking go. Like, he created a whole company on that name, guys. Isn't that mad? Right? So, guys, what I want you to do is, when you're in this kind of fear factor place, I want you to think, okay, what would this person do? Right? It probably wouldn't be me, because I probably would do the wrong thing, but you can imagine that I did the right thing, okay? Or you can imagine what would Ronaldo do. Okay, also make sure, guys, and I say it all the time, but I'm going to say it again, just if you haven't heard this, self-care, exercise, meditation, all of that is super crucial for growth mindset, okay? And another thing that I want you to write down, failure is guaranteed. Failure is guaranteed. Oh, Frank, don't cry. It's okay. It's okay, Frank. We got you. Don't cry. We can cry together. Right? Okay. Just understand, guys, failure is guaranteed, okay? It's a part of the game. Enjoy it. Like, it's fun. Like, if something doesn't go your way, if something annoys you, and then you figure it out, do you know how happy you're going to feel? Do you know how much closer you're going to feel to it? You're going to be like, yes, right? There's going to be a light bulb moment and you're going to be happy, okay? So just no failures guaranteed. Now, we have some action points before we go on to our newly promoted Sarah. Well, anyway, we've got some action points, guys. Firstly, write down, has your fear happened yet? Has your fear happened yet? Now, I want to tell you, I've mentioned it before in Married to the Boot Camp. What boot camp? Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. But I remember, like, I was mentioning this before, and it's a really good example, okay? Now, if you haven't heard this before, it's from Tony Robbins, and he's talking about a car accident, right? He's talking about a car accident. So this is the example that I want you to think about. Tony Robbins was in a car, and he had an instructor next to him, training him in how to deal with fear as one problem. Okay, now he's in a very, very fast moving car. So I want you guys to imagine you're in a really, really fast car. It's going so fast, you turn the corner and you're actually about to crash. Now, when you're about to crash, what do you think you look for? What do you think you look for? Do you guys know? When you're about to crash, what are you looking for? Right? I know you guys know this. Any idea? No idea? Right? What you're looking for, guys, is a wall, right? You're looking for a wall so you can swerve. You're looking for God. Yes, it's true. Okay, well done. But guys, you are looking for a wall so you can swerve from it. So imagine there's a wall next to you and you don't want to hit the wall. So you're looking at the wall. What do you think you're going to do, though, when you look at the wall? When you're looking at the wall, what do you think you're going to do? Right? What do you think you're going to do? If you're looking at the wall, you're going to hit it. You're going to hit the wall because you're focusing on the wall. You should be focused. So the moral of the story is you should be focusing on how to get away from the wall. So you're looking on the left-hand side, but instead you're facing the wall. And so you hit the wall because that's all you're focusing on, right? This is an example of fear. If you fear something going wrong so many times and you put all your focus in it, that is actually going to happen, right? That is actually going to happen. So if you focus that you're going to hit stop loss, right? You focus on it, you focus on it, you focus on it. You have to imagine you're in a car, the wall is on your right hand side, the way out is on your left hand side. You need to force yourself to look the other way and brace yourself in that direction, and then you'll be safe. Okay, you can't imagine that you're going to, if you see the wall, you're going to hit the wall. Okay, that's just how it works. So when you are in your fear, focus on the way out, not about hitting the wall. And that's a really good example, guys, and I really want you to always think about this when you are in this severe, like, down place of fear. Then I want you guys to say to yourself, who do I want to be? Right? Who do I want to be? Do I want to be a person crippled by fear? Do I want to be alone, crippled with fear? Do I want to push everything away? Do I want to quit everything I start? Yeah, who do you want to be? Or do you want to push past that and actually make it work? So you've got two options, your fear versus your dream come true. Because that's the two things that can happen, okay? It's your fear or it's your dream come true. If you keep pushing towards your fear, right, that's what's going to happen. So you use your imagination, your positive self-expression, and you celebrate your achievements. It's really simple. You already know this, but you don't do it, okay? Now, in terms of, before I finish my half of this training, right, before we go on to greed, before we finish my half, I want to go over some business growth. Oh, sorry. I want to go over some business growth, right? Because this is quite important. I feel like people need to understand what to do in business, especially if you're trying to build up your residuals and you're trying to wait for ADS P1K boot camp. So I do want to help you guys in achieving that, right? When you have to grow your business, the best thing that I do, right, is remember what I love about it. Okay, so write that down. What do you love about your business? Do you love the trading? Do you love the mentoring? Do you love having a purpose? Do you love spreading the word? Do you love, like, designing your own business how you want it? What do you love about it, right? Why are you even talking about your business? What does it give you? Some people forget that when they're talking about their business, they forget about what they love about them. They just think about what they need to do. And that is always, like, they can always feel that. They can feel that energy, right? So when you're trying to grow your business, I want you to really think about what you love about it. Do you love the team? Is that what you're talking about it? Do you love waking up and seeing Frank's weird trading habits? Like, what do you love about it, right? Like, what do you love about it? And that's what you're going to talk about. Don't pitch an idea. Don't pitch the company. Don't pitch IM. Don't pitch trading, right? Pitch what you love about it, right? Pitch what you love about it. What feeling do you see, right? What feeling do you see? How do you feel since you've been in it? Then you practice this with your mentor, right? You practice this. You practice explaining what you love about the business, right? Practice it. Practice what you love about it. Okay. Sometimes I'm on Zooms and I have to take a call. And before I used to hide my call. I used to put it on mute so no one can hear, right? So when I'm talking about the business, no one can hear me because I put it on mute. Then I realized that why would I do that? I don't really care. Like if I do it wrong, at least I get some points, right? Like at least I get some feedback. So what I sometimes do is I take the call with whoever's on Zoom listening, right? Listening, giving feedback. And do you know what I've realized? I'm actually more confident because you have someone watching. Yeah, someone there to help you. Someone's there to give out some points. Someone's there to guide you. Okay, so try and do that to get out your comfort zone and get out that fear. Also, another thing that I want you guys to start doing is pick one way of explaining something and say it again and again and again. Pick one way of explaining something and say it again and again and again. Okay, don't get into the habit of saying something and then changing the pitch and then changing it again and changing it again. Guys, it doesn't work. Repetition is key in this industry. Repetition is key in business. Okay, if you can't say what the vision is, right, how are you ever going to sell it? Okay, next thing, guys, which I think a lot of you forget to do, is list your unique selling points of your mentorship, right? List unique selling points of your mentorship. List questions that can be asked and cover them. Okay, why would I want to work with you, right? Why would I want to work with you? Is it your energy? Is it your mindset? Is it your determination? Is it your skill set? Is it your experience? Is it like, what is it? Why would I want to work with you? And once you know your unique selling point, that's it. Anyone will join your business. Yeah. Like for me, people understand excitement, right? They can feel it when they're speaking. So they're like, yeah, like I want to feel excited, right? I want to feel excited. So then they join the business to feel excited. They're not joining the business to like do all this other stuff. You have to know what your unique selling point is. If you motivate well, if you explain things well, that's your unique selling point. Yeah, if you never quit, that's your unique selling point, right? So another thing that I want you guys to start doing is showing people how to use the product instead of explaining it. Showing how to use the product instead of explaining it. And that's not just with this business, that's with all businesses. Okay? Be client-centered and follow and create your own system. Yeah, don't depend on someone's system if it doesn't work for you, right? If you don't think speaking to 100 people and then inviting them into a call works for you, go and find one that does. You have to get into it. Like, for instance, Sarah jumps on Zooms, right? Sometimes that don't work for me. Sometimes I like just a phone call. Yeah, the phone call works. That's what I'm saying. Everyone is different. So you have to be as comfortable with your system as possible. So the sooner you get into a system, the better it is for you. Okay, all of these things will help you grow your business out of fear. Okay, out of fear, because this all like pins it together. Okay, now that's the end of my section of the training. Did you guys gain some value from my section? Fear, right? Fear. Did you guys gain some value? Cool. Now I want you guys to really blow up the chat, because we have a new promotion and she's going to share some valuable points with you. Now, let me introduce you to Sarah, right? How do I know Sarah? Sarah was a random Instagram. Everyone starts with a random Instagram, I swear. Sarah was a random Instagram, yeah? So let me tell you the exact story, because I remember it like it was yesterday. It's so weird that I remember this story like it was yesterday. But Cash the Great, as you guys know, right? Cash the Great came to the UK. And if you think we work you hard, you really need to meet this guy, right? He came to the UK and I was working with him. He didn't let me go home until 2 in the morning, right? I was working till 2 in the morning and then I had to drive 60 miles home. Yeah, because I was working with Cash for so long, I was like, I haven't even spoken to new people. I need an outlet. Like, I need something to leave me from his mindset, right? So then I started messaging random people, right? 2 in the morning. Yeah, Sarah was one of them. Yeah, one random person. This was like what, 6 months ago? I can't even remember. But it was like whenever Cash came down. By 9 in the morning, she had already determined that she's going to join the business, right? Already knew from that moment, right? So this tells you kind of what type of person Sarah is, right? She sees something, she's going to go for it. So this promotion brought me so much love, because I know for a fact that you're so close to P1K. It's unreal. So I'm so excited for you, Sarah. I'm so happy for your training. Guys, can you blow up the chat? 111 if you're ready for Sarah to show you greed. Another thing, by the way, guys, Sarah's doing this training because she suffered from greed. Right? She suffered from it. Let me tell you about Sarah. When she was doing some dumb shit, she was like, is trading really for me? Right? For one day, I killed her, literally killed her inside and out. And I was like, are you mad? How are you talking like this? And then by the next day, she had a new game plan. She was a new person. And now she's going to share it with you guys. So please, please, please show some love for Sarah. Take some notes, okay? Take some notes. This is about greed, which is another killer in trading. So I'm going to make you host, Sarah, and you can be on your way. Let's go. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Doreen. Yes, I did suffer from greed, and I will explain it in the presentation as well. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Your call's muted.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Greed.
Yeah. So name one thing that you think people are greedy about. What is one thing that people are greedy about? Can't see the chat.
It's above. So this is what happened to me. You have to see above. Yeah, so weird. I took me ages to get used to it as well.
Above?
So if you look, the chat where it says participants, it will come up there.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'll read it out to you.
Yeah,
so,
that's fine.
Money, food, profit, luxury life, money, money. What else, guys? What else?
There's one more thing that's missed.
One thing. Love? People greedy about love? Probably.
Are they? Maybe. Power.
Power. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Especially in the business, a lot of times people get greedy about power. So a lot of people think, let me make money. And they don't think about, let's help others. So the first thing that I stopped doing was stop saying, I will achieve. I keep saying, we will achieve. We will get there. And the third thing is, we should celebrate our wins, not just win something and then think, oh, this is my next goal. Stop, celebrate your win, be content with your win, and then go for your next goal. So some of the greedy mistakes we make is over leveraging. I've done it. Terry knows I've done it. A lot of us have done it. Second thing we also do is moving stop loss lower or higher. Sometimes we just enter a trade and think, okay, maybe it won't hit stop loss, or let me just move it slightly lower, slightly higher. And you keep pushing it and you lose more money by doing it. That is because you start getting greedy about it. Or even moving your take profit. Sometimes you move it higher thinking, this is the one time, let me just get a slightly more profit, or let me just make a bit more money just today, but you start repeating the cycle. It may happen once, it may happen twice, but it will definitely make you lose money. And then the next thing is revenge trading. I have done this as well, guilty of this. A lot of us are guilty of this. We all have bad days. We hit 3 losses, we need to stop. But sometimes we just start revenge trading. We think, okay, let me just double that money. Or we think, let me just make that money up with the next trade. We don't stop. And we don't realize by doing that, we're being greedy about the money. We're not making it about what we're learning. We make it about the money. And I've done this as well with my first account. It was entering multiple trades of the same pair, especially when you're unsure. All new traders will go through this. So that is the biggest mistake I made with my first account, and I blew up the account. And when I blew up the account, that's the day Tyrene called me. And I just was so hard on myself, thinking, what have I done? And then I just changed my whole plan. I just changed the way I trade. I have become way more disciplined. And if you're disciplined, you will overcome your emotions. So like I said, to overcome greed in trading, you need to follow a trading plan. Even if you do follow a trading plan, update your trading plan regularly. A lot of times, it may work for a short period of time, but it might not work some other times. So update your trading plan whenever necessary. Secondly, work on your mindset. Every successful trader has worked on their mindset. A lot of people have lost money because they did not focus on working on their mindset. When they realize it, that they need to work on their mindset, it's too late. They've made so many mistakes until they realize it. I myself have gone through this. And then have a trading diary and record your behavior would be the third. See how you feel about certain pairs. I love USD MXN, but I hate GBP NZD. I hate it. We all have our favorite pairs and a pair we hate, but see what you feel. Write what you feel about it. Write how you feel when a stop loss is hit for that trade. Write how you feel when you take profit. And if you ever feel that, oh, I made good money today on this one, or if you feel you're being a bit greedy on a certain pair, that's time you know you're being greedy. You need to fix your mindset. And do not overtrade. I've done this, and use proper risk management. Lot sizes, using proper risk management. Knowing the trade before you enter it would be one of them. And don't let greed control your trades. Never trade. I have a lot of people asking me, oh, do you start earning from day one? How can I earn £100 from day one? That is the wrong mindset. You know, we don't involve in a dodgy business to earn £100 from day one. So it is practice, it is skills. And yeah, so don't let your greed control your trades. With all of this, you will realize when you're being greedy. So if you follow these steps and ever feel like maybe this is a sign of being greedy, that's the time you know you have to snap out of it. If you can't do it by yourself, ask anyone in the team and say, this is how I've been feeling about my trades lately. How can I improve it? And any one of us will help you out with it. And lastly, our greed is what takes us away from happy and glad to discontent and sad. So being greedy can affect the way you feel and also affect your work a lot. I'm sorry it wasn't that good.
What? That was amazing. You actually conquered everything that I suffer from. Guys, do you have any questions? Right? Wasn't it just so important what she said, to the point? And guys, we've already had a training for like an hour, so she definitely didn't have that much time. Right? Guys, honestly, Sarah, you smashed it. Thank you so much that on your first day of P150, you're training 15 people. Yeah? 15 people. And then you got all these compliments, guys.
And this is the first time I spoke as well on the training.
Exactly. First.
And have my camera on.
And have your camera and speak. Like, honestly, guys, we are so growing. Sarah, thank you so much for doing that. Guys, do you have any questions? Any questions? We all learned something today. We're all going to work on what we're trying to achieve. Frank, this training was definitely for you, my friend. Right? Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much, guys, for jumping on this session. Thank you so much. It's Friday night. No one wants to work on Friday night, but you're all on this call, and we're so grateful that you did jump on with us. And hopefully we shall see you on Monday. We have a whole week of stuff to do. So guys, don't waste this weekend. And we are out. Thank you so much, guys. Sarah, you can end the call. Bye.
Maybe the host.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Thank you. Speak to you soon. Take care and work on your mindset this weekend. Don't work on anything else other than mindset. Don't look at charts. My weekly analysis is going to be on Sunday. Cool. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.